This is the honest reality of decorating a home. It takes so much time. I guess this story starts about 10 months ago, but for a bit of background information, if you're new here, I bought this house in 2018 and it was a complete shit show. I poured my heart and soul into renovating it for about 4 years or so, but then I decided I needed a bit of a detour in life. I moved to London, then I moved to South Korea, I met my now wife, and after a series of events, we ended up moving back here. So if we're being really particular, this renovation has taken about 7 or 8 years to complete, but how about we just rewind the clock for the last 10 months and see what we've managed to do in that time. 10 months ago when we moved back to the UK, we had to overhaul this space and make it feel like our own. We wanted a completely fresh start. But as the story goes, these things take time and we've had a lot of other things to focus on, particularly in this house. So the bedroom did come together slowly, but it has finally come together. Where this story begins 10 months ago is when we completely refreshed this room and started with a blank canvas. What are you doing?
Taping the outlets, making sure I get all the parts covered that I need to.
There she is.
For the paint, we've gone for a nice warm white colour in here. I do think this is a bit of a safe option, but what can I say? I love a warm white and I really wanted the bedroom to feel calm and tranquil. It also makes it really easy for us to add colour in the soft furnishings.
At this point in any journey of renovation, it's really exciting. You've got those rose tinted renovation glasses, but they do disappear after a while. Now, 10 months later, these jobs are looking a lot less exciting. But nevertheless, we completed the job. The bedroom is looking fresh and new, but there's only one problem. We had no furniture, so off to the charity shops we went.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's insane.
Ooh, that is so nice. After finding such amazing pieces at the charity shops, it got me thinking about the furniture that I had hidden away at my grandma's house. I had this amazing mid-century style dresser that matched with our new vanity unit, but it was looking a little bit worse for wear. So as it goes, I decided to take upon the task of completely overhauling this entire unit.
I started by taking out the drawers and we'll do those first. These drawers have been through quite a few changes in probably the last decade. At first I had them coral pink and I spray painted these handles rose gold. Mistakes were made. At some point I decided that was a horrible idea, duh, and I painted the rest of this like a pale dusty purple. I then put another layer of paint on top of it as an even lighter dusty purple. I'm gonna get prepared and we are going to see if we can strip off some of this paint. Wish me luck. Okay, so when I get to this point where there's still paint on it that's not coming off, I like to take one of these kitchen scourers and very gently try and buff out some of the paint.
After spending 2 days sanding the entire dresser, I was finally able to add a stain to it, which looked really beautiful when I put it on, and I tried to make sure I was going in line with the grain the whole time, but it looked very streaky once it had dried. I did, I think, about 4 coats of this. On the corners and edges, there were a few areas where the veneer had chipped off and the stain wouldn't change the color of this, so I ended up color matching a brown acrylic paint and making that work, which I'll show you in a minute. At this point, I felt like the dresser was looking really patchy, so I gave it one final coat, and I think it's looking really good. I remember when I did this because this was the first space in the house that we were able to style with all of these bits that had been in storage for so long, so it was so exciting. It was nice to see that the bedroom had a bit more personality after just moving in.
All in all, the dresser turned out really well. I was very pleased with it, and quite frankly, we needed the storage, so I'm glad I got it done and out of the way. But after a few months of living in this very bland room as it was, we knew that we weren't ready to fully complete this project as we had our eyes set on other tasks, but I did want to give it a mini makeover for the time being to make it look a little bit less sad.
At the start of this year, we did a mini makeover in the bedroom because at this point I didn't realize it was going to take like 10 months to do this entire thing. So I spent some time making the bed area really nice and cozy. I was lucky enough to work with a brand over on Instagram that sent us this amazing mattress topper, which honestly changed the game because our mattress is horrible. So this really made our bedroom feel a lot cozier. I also changed out some of the handles on the drawers and did a few things to just freshen up the space and make it feel like we actually lived here rather than it being a blank box.
At this point, the room looked nice, unfinished, but still really nice. It was enough to allow us to get on with other things in our lives and just be satisfied with what we had done in the bedroom. So by the summer, I was ready to hit play again. I started by upcycling the headboard, which you might have seen in a recent video, so I won't bore you with the full details, but this made a huge difference and brought a nice new pop of color into the space. Seeing the bedroom transform by just a little bit also gave me the determination to finally get this room finished. Which brings us a lot closer to the present day. We are one major project away from finishing this room. This is the area that needs the most attention. This is the chimney. It's looking very bland and empty. But there's not a lot of space between the wall and the end of the bed, so we're kind of limited as to what we can do here. So then I was thinking, well, what kind of furniture would you put on a chimney breast? And the idea magically came to me. A mantelpiece. Who'd have thought? Luckily for me, I had this old mantelpiece lying in the shed waiting to be used for some kind of project, and I think this is the perfect one.
So this is the mantelpiece that we're going to use. This has been in the shed for like 3 or 4 years. I gave it a really good clean this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the bits off to allow for the skirting board to fit at the back, and we'll take it upstairs.
Okay, let's make this hearth. I've got 2 thick sheets of plywood that used to be shelves. I'm gonna glue those together and then we're gonna tile the top, and it should be pretty easy.
For this project, I picked these black and white checkerboard tiles, which I thought were really in keeping with this Victorian home. I really like these because they're on a mesh backing, so it was really easy to cut them to the right size without actually having to cut the tile pieces. I love an easy project, and this was one of those projects. Luckily enough, these tiles were the perfect size for the edge of my wooden boards. Like, I couldn't have made this more perfect had I planned it. It was just magic that they fit so well. I then went ahead and grouted it, which I used this nice oatmeal colored grout because I thought it would go nicely with the off-white of the tiles. And I think this was the best choice because it's not got that stark white contrast that it would have if I just used any old grout. Now comes the fun part, seeing this all come together. I installed the fireplace mantle to the wall, which was really easy because all of the fixtures were still intact, so I just had to drill some holes and screw it all in together. I also installed these really nice sconce lights from Dunelm, which I'm using some non-wired bulbs in because I can't be bothered to wire this in or get an electrician to come and do it. I love the rechargeable bulb hack. I think it's one of the best DIY hacks you could use in any space. Of course, because this thing had been in the shed for a very long time, I had to give it a good lick of paint in the same color that it already was painted in, this kind of like off-white beigey color. I'm considering doing a completely different color, like a very bright or a pastel color. I'm not sure though, so definitely leave your recommendations. I think it'd be something I do in the new year, so I'd love to hear from you. Last but not least, we got to fit the hearth in place, and it fits so perfectly snug. I'm really happy with this. This would be great for a rental hack if you're currently renting.
And here we are, the room is finally full of all of the furniture that we need, but still looking a bit bland. So here comes the fun part, the styling. And now for my favorite part of the video, the before and after. We have come so far in the last 10 months, but it has been a journey. And this is what I want to remind you guys of, because social media can be deceiving. I see a lot of people with perfect houses and it looks like it happens overnight. It doesn't. So here it is. This is what the room looked like before. And here is the after. It finally feels like a home and not just a blank space. And of course, I wish it wouldn't have taken so long, but where would the fun be in that? I love that together, Hayley and I have collected pieces that we love, restored the dresser that I've had for over a decade, used what we had lying around, and also injected a bit of color. We are so happy with it. But that brings us to the end. It's all done. If you are sitting at home watching this and you have something that you need to do in your house, let me know in the comments if this is maybe giving you a little bit of a push. But also, just remember, the best things take time and it's not worth rushing everything in life. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.